Well, let's talk about the GOAT, or some of us consider the GOAT. I don't know how I
Stop.
feel personally, but
Talking Jordan tonight.
but
Um,
um, Mr. Shannon Sharp over at Fox thinks he's the GOAT, wearing the GOAT mask today on Undisputed. But anyway, LeBron James put up a triple double and beat the Thunder. They beat them 112 to 107. Put up 25 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists. Became the first player ever to have a triple double against all teams. Fifth all time with, I believe, 86 triple doubles. And I just want to get your guys' thoughts on just LeBron's season in general. Is this something that's just happening at the beginning of the season? You know, they say that the NBA doesn't really start till Christmas, and he's not going to be able to sustain this whole season. So, Quay, I'll let you speak first. What are your thoughts on what LeBron's doing right now?
I think what LeBron's doing is, I mean, it's this is these are GOAT things. I mean, it's LeBron is one of the best players in NBA history, arguably the best player in NBA history, and I mean this is a ridiculous milestone. I didn't even consider that being like a milestone ever. Making getting a triple double on every single team in the NBA. Never thought about a stat like that, but nonetheless, it's a very profound stat and just another stamp on like a illustrious career. And for me, I mean, I expect things like this from LeBron. I mean, with all the GOAT talk, with all he's like the best in the NBA, he's the best ever in the NBA. I mean, I expect these types of things. So when it happens, it's just more icing on the cake, to like that, like I said, that GOAT status.
Guru, what are your thoughts on
All
LeBron
right.
and what he's been up to lately, especially with the triple double? I'm not sure how many he's had this season, but
For me, I mean, I think he's playing at a great level right now. I'm not gonna say he's the GOAT. I'm not that big of a LeBron guy.
it's not big. He's
I think
overrated.
he's a really really good player. I think his career's got some interesting situations along the lines of that he's never played really anybody in a conference pretty much his entire career. He had one team in his conference that's actually been a
That's a
talented squad,
lie.
and that was the
That
Celtics.
is a
He played the
lie.
Celtics. That one,
That is a
the Celtics were
lie.
the only team in his entire career that was any good that he played in the Eastern Conference.
That is
I
a
want you to name a bunch of other teams with a Hall of Fame
Bulls,
players on them that
Bulls,
he played against in the Eastern
Pacers.
Conference.
About Bulls.
The
We're talking about
Bulls with
Pacers.
who? Derrick Rose.
We're even talking about the We're
With
even talking about
Derrick
the
Rose,
Magic.
the Derrick Rose Bulls.
Everyone says the
The,
East
the
wasn't.
Magic with Dwight
Everyone
Howard,
says the East wasn't
the guy you
wasn't.
want to.
We're talking about a former MVP.
What I
We're
want to
talking
understand.
about a player who literally, if no injury happens, literally that team, if there's no LeBron, that team could have easily gone to an NBA Finals. If you also have
Question.
the Raptors just
Question.
literally lost their soul to LeBron.
Question: Who in the history of the MVP award in probably the last 20 years has been worse than Derrick Rose?
Has been worse than Derrick Rose.
Yeah,
It's in
Derrick
a.
Rose is the worst player to ever win the MVP award in probably the last 25 years.
You don't think Nash is? And I'm not even talking about. And I feel like because Nash shouldn't won his.
I mean, one of Nash's maybe, but there's one player, one season in the last 25 years you can give me as an example of a player who's been worse than Derrick Rose. So Derrick Rose, get that out of here. All right, he's not. He doesn't play. He hasn't played any
It's not. We're not
challenging
talking about
teams. He's just swept through the East every year, and then he plays in the finals.
We're saying he swept
Sweeps
through
the East,
He
plays in the
swept through the
finals.
East
Sweeps the
literally
East,
from
plays in the finals. That's what happened his whole career.
2015 literally from 2015 and on, and everyone takes that small sample size and say he has blown through the East. He had to get challenges through the Pacers. He had to challenge through those Bulls. You can tell me
The
all you
Pacers
want.
with nobody on their team.
Yeah, I don't think
Nobody
the
was on these
Pacers
teams.
You're telling me what young Paul
You
George,
you gotta
Granger,
give me
David
good
West,
teams.
Roy Hibb, are
Here's
you
the team
comparing?
for you.
Are you comparing them to teams of to? You're telling me that team back then, even the Hawks, like I'm saying, those teams in the East had players, those had ballers. If we're looking up the stats right now, those teams were good teams. Like, regardless of what you say of the
They were
different
solid
players,
squads, yes.
those were solid squads. The East was literally about 7 teams deep. We can say all we want, like LeBron swept through. That's not really the case. He struggled with the Celtics. He struggled with the Bulls. He struggled literally against the Indiana Pacers. So, and like literally, and they struggled with the Magic one season. Like, so I'm saying, like the Magic as well with young Dwight Howard as young Superman. Like there's teams in the East that were competition. So I'm saying it's not like literally was easy. If we're gonna say that's the case, then like I can say that's the case for like Michael Jordan.
Facts. He was playing Hall of Famers.
Facts. I can say that about Michael Jordan. We're talking about washed up HIV, like HIV written like Magic Johnson. Like we're talking about them and old James Worthy and all those guys. Like I'm not hearing that. We're talking about old Clyde. We're talking about like a young Gary Payton who wasn't even like fully in his prime yet with a Sean Kemp. Like I'm not hearing that like but literally.
All I'm saying, I didn't mean to get into this whole LeBron discussion.
At
the same time, to move on, playing very well. I don't think it's that sustainable. I mean, I think he's gonna have crazy numbers all year just because of the way he's gonna have to play alongside AD. I mean, he's gonna get his assists easy. I mean, he rebounds the ball. He's gonna be around the basket. I mean, he's gonna have good numbers. I think it's a good milestone for his career. Triple-double against every team, I guess. I want to do some research into this triple-double situation just because I've been meaning to do this just to look into the amount of shots taken compared to previous eras, and the amount of long shots taken, long rebounds, meaning more guys get long rebounds, and there's more shots, there's more rebounds available, which just makes it easier for triple doubles. I haven't done the research to prove that point, but I think that the triple doubles is a little bit facetious, not just for him, but like for other dudes as well. Yeah. I don't think it's that big of a stat anymore as it used to be. It was a little bit harder. It's harder for a guard to get rebounds in eras where there were big centers and big forwards and people played in the paint. There was less shots, shorter rebounds, things like that. But besides the point, I think that LeBron, I mean, he's one of the best players of all time, obviously. But I just can't. I'm not going to call him the GOAT, 100%. And I hope to see the Lakers playing in the playoffs. I want to see what he does against the Western Conference, against a good conference with great players, with great teams, with great coaches.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that they're saying now that he finally has a triple-double against every team, including the Thunder, when I seem to remember him putting up a triple-double in Game 5 to win his first title to beat the Thunder back 6 or 7 years ago, whatever it was. I guess they don't count the playoffs for these stats. That's why I was confused when I first heard that. I'm like, I know he has a triple-double against them, but I guess they don't count championship-winning triple-doubles as far as his career goes. So, he's got a few of those that we can remember. But, I mean, everyone, I think you guys all here know, I think Jordan's still the GOAT. I think LeBron might be second probably. I mean, there's so many people you can put up there, but I don't think him or anyone else is ever touching Jordan for me. But I'm not going to get into that right now either.
Yeah, and I think that's interesting about this stat is I believe Russell Westbrook actually had a chance to be the first to get triple-double against every team, but I think he was
played Thunder and gotten one.
He had, I think, 9 assists, and he wasn't able to get to that triple-double mark. And that was earlier this year. I think maybe it was the 5th game.